Hello, Squad Fam, and welcome to another Sinister Sunday. Today's Sinister Sunday, we're going to upstate New York. This was a suggestion from a subscriber, Boomer. He lives upstate. So this place is called Hellmira Monument, and it's in Elmira, New York. All that remains of one of the Civil War's most deadly POW camps is a simple flagstone. Ooh. So we're going to read all about this and see what the story is. Visitors to the small city of Elmira in upstate New York could be forgiven for not realizing that it was once home to the most torturous prison camp of the Civil War, since there is little reminder of the thousands that died or were made sick during the POW holding center single year in operation. The Elmira fort that would come to be known as Hellmira among its prisoners began as a Union training post called Camp Rathbun. After serving to condition Union troops for years, the camp began to fall into disrepair and was turned into a prison camp in 1864, with almost no notice. When the order came down that Camp Rathbun, which was designated to accommodate around 6,000 recruits, was to be converted into a prison and hold an incoming 10,000 soldiers, the Union Commissary General was given just 10 days to make it happen. Unsurprisingly, this led to problems from the start. Oh, this already sounds super sinister. Despite inadequate kitchens, water sources, housing, and no hospital, the prisoners began arriving in July of 1864. Food was almost immediately rationed to barely livable amounts, leading to prisoners taking and eating and trading the rats that seemed to be endemic to the tightly packed squalor of the camp. Aww. A large dog was brought in to combat the vermin problem, but he too eventually was eaten by two enterprising prisoners. The stagnant wash water began to spread disease among the inmates, and combined with the growing malnutrition, people began to die off. Once the harsh winter weather arrived, of the just over 12,000 prisoners sent to the camp, nearly 3,000 died there. For the most part, the Union general who oversaw the facility successfully covered up the tragic mistreatment, and it was not until the camp was closed in September of 1865 that the true horrors of Hellmira began to see the light of day. As though to erase the memory, the prison grounds were razed and buried under farmland. Today, the unfortunate prison camp is remembered by a brass plaque set into a large flagstone on the site of the main entrance of the camp. While it does little to invoke the inhumane conditions that thrived there that cold winter in 1864, it is warming to know that those who perished have not been forgotten. This whole article was about how they pretty much forgotten them, how they covered up, how they died. I wonder where they're buried. Let's find out a little more about Hellmira. A suburban neighborhood now occupies the site, once occupied by rows of wooden bunkhouses. If not for the New York State historical marker in the front yard of those homes along the one-way section of Water Street, a visitor who was passing would never know it was a prison site. A few feet away is a granite marker installed by the Grand Army of the Republic, marks the southeast corner of the prison. Several blocks north, hunkered down in a cave-like arch carved out of an evergreen hedge Another granite block marker the location of the prison's northeast corner. The 30-acre compound had a 12-foot stockade fence with a catwalk. There were 35 buildings, each about 100 feet long. The site had formerly been a training camp, Camp Ruthbun, for New York soldiers freshly mustered into federal service. The whole thing, is crazy. I mean, the percentage of people who died in 1 year was insanity. What was it? The death rate was 24.3% of who was sent there. Crazy. Oh, they have like a layout of the camp. So I'll put that in here so you can see it. That's interesting. Um, yeah. Let's see what else we can find. Okay, so let's hear about the ghosts. The spirits of the Civil War soldiers are said to still haunt homes where the old Elmira Civil War prison camp used to be. They make their presence known by items falling, seemingly with no help from the living. Proof, some say, is in the sudden cold spots of an otherwise warm room. Some even claim they've seen a face that seems out of place or simply unknown. Whatever the experience, these encounters have been reported across the southern tier for decades, some for nearly a century. Some call them stories, others ghosts. Either way, our region has plenty. Here are just a few spine-chilling tales. Ooh, let's hear. Arrive by taxi, leave by hearse. It's possible that more people have died at 1526 Grand Central Avenue in Elmira than any other building in the area. First, a home for widows of World War II soldiers, the Lindenwall Huss history includes a general retirement home and an orphanage operation. There was a huge amount of deaths going on in that building. Owner has transformed the multi-story late 19th century home into a Halloween attraction, including a haunted house and paintball course. The attractions are open Friday through Sunday. Okay, so you took your haunted house. You said, I don't want to live there, but let's make it an attraction so other people could go there and die horribly. I don't know. That just seems silly to me. But anyway, because people were arriving by taxi and leaving by hearse, the owners at the time built a crematorium to dispose of the bodies of people who couldn't afford a proper burial. This is crazy. Hundreds of people are believed to have met their demise inside the Lindenwald Haus. Beyond its spine-tingling history, unexplainably and frankly impossible experiences have been reported. I'm a true skeptic. I scare people for a living, and I know the magic tricks to make people believe seeing a shadowy figure. But there's a lot of strange stuff going on in this building. Workers witness flashes of light. Others have seen things they just can't explain. But one of the most haunting encounters was the discovery of bare footprints in sawdust. We saw a small girl's footprints in sawdust going right up the wall in the corner and not going anywhere else. Ooh. He reasoned that no one would be in the room because of the construction zone having screws scattered across the floor. It was simply unsafe and illogical for anyone to be barefoot in that room. Whew. The owner has been in town for a small window of time and even a self-proclaimed skeptic, and he's experienced the unexplainable. I was in the basement walking up the stairs, and the open door closed, and it didn't just close, it slammed and hit me in the shoulder. He tried reasoning that the wind blew the door shut, but with the amount of force it had, he said it was impossible. Next story is called Death Camp. I like how they named these stories. The Elmira Civil War prison camp may be gone, but not the spirits attached to the homes that are on the campus now. Insufficient food, extreme bouts of pneumonia, smallpox, and typhoid fever, inadequate medical care, and flooding resulted in the deaths of 2,963 prisoners at the Elmira prison camp, a mortality rate of about 25%. We said that. The dead were first thrown in mass graves before being interned at Woodlawn National Cemetery. Because a lot of bad things happen at the camp, when there is a lot of trauma or a lot of death, that's when they say spirits get caught or attracted to that area. Fascinated by the history, the camp, and a believer in the paranormal, Burton, a dietarian by day, led ghost walks around the campus in mid-October, which were organized through her Facebook group called Haunted Elmira. It's just intriguing to know there are things you cannot see, but evidence they are there. The proof for Burton is the first-hand experience of the homeowner on the 700 block of West Water Street, which now that camp was like on Water Street and another street. So Water Street, it was where the main camp part of the camp was. The large red brick dwelling is one of the most prominently haunted residents in the area. It's home to 3 ghosts, Burton says. One ghost is described as a grumpy but helpful soldier. Ooh. Another is a woman whom Burton and the current residents believe is the former homeowner. The third is a servant. Inside the home, when electrical items unexplainably turn off or on, homeowners know something is about to happen. A bulb was out near the stairs, and the ghost whispered in the homeowner's ear, "You need to change that bulb. Someone's going to get hurt." That basically means the ghost is going to push you. So change the light bulb. The son's electric toys went off minutes before lightning struck a tree across the street. The stereo system turns on, and the homeowner's daughter called and said she was in a car crash. Though the soldier is grumpy, he's still polite. The homeowner was doing laundry one day when the door was held open 3 times in a row. He's even pushed her up the stairs when she was beginning to fall. The woman who's there can be heard cooing babies to sleep. She typically sticks to the back bedroom. Footsteps of the servant, nicknamed the butler, can be heard in the attic and sometimes become visible. The butler just showed up one day while the family was sitting in the dining room. Okay? He actually peeked his head around the corner and everyone said, "Did you see the butler?" The family quipped with a anonymous yes. So there's a lot of stuff going on in the houses built around the camp, obviously. Haunting stories are in plentiful amount around the grounds of the former prison camp, including the story of Windsor Avenue. That must be the cross block. On the 800 block of Windsor Avenue are 2 homes nearly across the street from another. One homeowner, a younger woman, admired the beauty of the red brick home and expressed interest in purchasing it. When the elderly woman decided to sell her home, she had one caution to her neighbor. There was a Civil War soldier living there. He was evident in the orbs of light, the impressions on the bed, and the inability to heat the room. The younger woman went through with purchasing the home. The family then began renting their old home across the street, where a family moved in almost as quickly as they moved out. The father of the family was severely attacked and had pictures thrown at him, was tripped, and had furniture rushed towards him without any reason. Wow. So the activity is just crazy, but it's not nice activity, some of them. I mean, the one lady has them holding open the door so she can pick her laundry, so that's great, but I wouldn't want furniture thrown at me. Okay, Squad fam, so what do you think of Hellmira in upstate New York? Is it worth to go visit if you're by there? It seems friendly enough. I don't know. But don't go to the house where, people are dying. Alright, guys. Thank you so much for joining me on this Sinister Sunday. Thank you to Boomer for the idea for this Sinister Sunday. Don't forget to like, and if you're not subscribed, please consider subscribing. And definitely leave me a comment. And if you have a place you would like me to investigate for a Sinister Sunday, let me know. And we will see you on the next adventure.